Okay, so I'm back with another episode of I Don't Think You've Seen This Movie. And with this week's episode, we are taking a look at American Ultra. Now, real quick, the rules aren't as long as the box office bomb rules, but I still gotta go over them real quick with you. One, I'm going to do absolutely no spoilers. Two, I'm not doing any movie that's on the box office bomb list. And three, I'm not going to do anything gigantically huge like Lord of the Rings or Star Wars. This is going to be more obscure stuff that you may or may not have heard. A lot of indie movies, a couple of like Hollywood releases that just kind of went by the wayside, went under the radar, were kind of a bomb, but not a big, massive box office bomb that would get on the box office bomb list that I'm doing. And that's about it. And so, yeah, let's get into it.
How's it going, man?
How you doing, baby?
I really appreciate you doing this for me.
This is some serious proposing you're doing. Yo, a sensitive bitch.
Well, I love her.
You gotta give it all when you love like that, you know what I'm saying?
Want to get drunk? Get some booty in your face?
It's 8:15 in the morning. Weird is happening to me. I keep killing people. There's a chance I may be a robot.
You're not a robot.
I ain't trying to get neuralized.
Mike. Ner-er.
So, if you didn't know, America Ultra is one of those movies that bombed lightly. This had like a budget of like 30 million and it made like 28 million. It was like it just like came under its original budget, and it was just one of those movies that didn't perform very well. And so you might be thinking, well, okay, is this bad movie, good movie? Well, it's on this series of videos. I don't think you've seen this movie. And I don't think you've seen American Ultra, because yes, it did have a wide nationwide release back in like 2016 or 2017, but like no one really went to go see it. And watching this movie, it kind of becomes more and more entertaining each time I see it. I really liked it the first time I saw it. Second time I saw it, it was even better. Third time, even better than that. It's just one of those movies that just gets better with age the more you see it. And one of the surprising aspects of this film is that it was written by Max Brooks, the guy who wrote World War C, among other stories. So the guy has kind of proven himself as a writer in, past years, and this movie is no exception. The story here is pretty entertaining. It's pretty fun, pretty exciting. And what is the story? Without spoiling too much, it basically follows this kind of slacker, dope-head loser that is living in this small town, and he has kind of like a crummy job, a crummy car, but he's dating like the girl of his dreams. Like, he's in a relationship with the woman that he wants to spend the rest of his life with. And so because of that, he's kind of happy about his life. He doesn't feel like his life is meaningless or pointless because he's with the girl of his dreams. And one night, when he's working at his shitty job at a convenience store, two guys try to kill him. And that's all I'm going to tell you about the premise, because I think you should go to this as humanly fresh as possible. And I would not even watch the trailers, because the trailers kind of spoil it as well. I think you should try and go into this as fresh as humanly possible. And one of the things that I do like about this movie are the two leads, Jesse Eisenberg and Kristen Stewart. And that might be a huge red flag for some of you, because I hear a lot of people shit on both Jesse Eisenberg and Kristen Stewart. But the thing is, in this movie, I don't hate these two actors. I think they've done some good work. I've also thought that they've done some bad work in their careers. But in this movie, it feels like both of them are getting outside of their comfort zone a little bit. Not entirely in some scenes, but in other scenes, it really feels like they're like making a conscious effort to do something that they haven't done before. And it's in those scenes that it actually works. And I kind of like them at their best in these scenes. Another thing that I really like about this movie is everyone, from Walter Goggins to Topher Grace. I always call him Eric Foreman, but Topher Grace Jesse Eisenberg, Kristen Stewart, John Leguizamo. It feels like every single person in this movie is having a blast to make this movie. No one felt like they were doing this movie just for the paycheck. Maybe Bill Pullman, but he's barely in the movie. But it really does feel like everyone's having a blast making this movie. And every now and then when you come across a movie like that, you can kind of feel their energy coming off the screen when they're just having a fun time, and you start having a fun time because they're having a fun time. And so this is kind of one of those movies where you just kind of have a fun time because it feels like everyone making the movie is having a fun time. And going back to the story, I had a lot of fun with the story. It was a really fun story, very well paced, just absolutely, it's one of those stories that I would love to see more expansion on. I'd love to see more people do stories kind of like this. And another thing worth pointing out is that, like, in this movie, there's a pretty cool little, like, one-shot take. It's nothing as grand and as impressive as, like, Extraction 2 or Extraction 1 for that matter, or, you know, like Daredevil Season 3. But, you know, in this movie, there's like this really neat little one-shot take during an action scene. And I know some people are saying it's such a gimmick, but, you know, like for me, one-shot action takes, even if they're not good, it tells me that the crew and director and the people making this movie give a shit and they want to try and do something special, and it's not easy doing one-shot takes. So I always think that's kind of cool whenever someone puts it in, and this movie does have a very quick but very cool one-shot take with one of the action scenes. And that being said, the action scenes in general are pretty awesome in this. Nothing John Wick or, you know, Chris Hemsworth's Extraction levels, but for a movie of this quality, of this caliber, it feels like they put some good effort into the action scenes. There wasn't a shit ton of quick cuts and whatnot, and so honestly, I was pretty happy about that. So, if you're looking for a good, fun evening, I would highly recommend checking out American Ultra. It was a fun movie. I own this. It's just that entertaining. I really didn't have a lot of issues with this movie. The only issues I could kind of think of is I would have liked a little bit more, like, professionalism built up with one of the groups in this movie. I can't really tell you what group that is without getting into spoilers, but it just kind of felt like there's a bunch of amateurs running this group. And there was a couple of little tiny things in terms of writing, but, like, honestly, nothing to really throw this movie out for. And so, like, honestly, yeah, this is a good fun time. I don't think you guys have seen this movie, and I think you should check it out. But anyway, so that's been my review of American Ultra, or the next chapter in I Don't Think You've Seen This Film. My name is Christopher Connor with 11 Hour Reviews, and that will be all for today.